All right, welcome back everybody. This is Drew Van Zee, or as some people know me, as the knee pain magician. So this week we're going to be looking at 3 specific joint mobility exercises you can do for your ankle that can help you find immediate relief to pain and stiffness in your knee. So if you don't already know, this channel is dedicated to active people over the age of 50 who are struggling with chronic knee pain. So the people who tend to get the most from this channel are people who have struggled with knee pain for quite some time. They've already tried many different things like steroid injections, PRP, stem cell. They perhaps have even worked with a physical therapist before, maybe a chiropractor or acupuncturist. No matter what they've tried, they have maybe been able to get a little bit of change or relief, but nothing that's been long lasting and provided a fundamental solution. So if that sounds like you, you've come to the right place. Now, if you've been struggling with chronic knee pain for some time, you're likely hyper-focused on your knee. Obviously, that's natural because A, that's where it hurts, but more so because that's what we've been told about how our body works. But the truth is, knee pain doesn't come from your knee, it comes from your brain. And knee pain is just a warning signal from your brain that it doesn't feel confident about moving. So the goal for us is to reassure your brain that your body can move well, so it doesn't feel like it needs to protect you and send out pain signals. So in this week's video, we're going to be focusing on the joint complex right below your knee, which is your ankle, because the better the joints within it can move, the freer the bones connected to your knee will move, which translates to more safety for the brain and a pain-free knee. All right, so before I coach you through today's joint mobility exercises, what I need you to do is assess and check in to see how your knee is currently feeling. So there's a couple different ways to do that. You can go for a walk. Simply walk around your home, apartment. You could go up and down a flight of stairs and just check in to see how is that knee feeling. On a pain scale, 1 to 10, 10 being terrible, 1 being amazing, like where is your knee on that scale? Maybe you're at a 5, so not terrible, but somewhere in between. You could do some range of motion assessments. Maybe try to sit down, or you can practice a squat just to see, do you have that sharp pain or that dull ache? What's your range of motion or your current tightness? You could bend down, try to touch your toes, or just kind of get a gross understanding of how your knee is feeling, where your body currently is, so that after we do the ankle mobility exercise, we could go back and check to see if there's an improvement in your knee. Okay, so briefly, big picture, why are we focusing on the ankle? Well, usually when we have pain in the knee, we're focused too much on the knee, but we don't stop and think, well, wait a minute, what are some of the areas connected to the knee that have an impact on what's going on here? As an example, your ankle. So there's 3 different portions on your ankle that connect your shin bones to your knee and to the ankle. You've got one big joint here, which connects your tibia to your ankle bone. And then you've got another joint that connects your tibia to the anterior portion of your ankle. And then you have another joint which connects the lateral portion of your fibula to your ankle bone as well. So if you have pain at where your kneecap is, right underneath that area, mobilizing this joint here can help release any tension, any stiffness within the joint, free the bones to move, which is going to have an impact here. Same thing here. If you have anterior knee pain, focusing on moving this particular ankle can help free up any tension and pain you have here. Moving on to the outside or the lateral portion of the knee, the better this area can move, right, with your fibula, the more likely you are to have a less knee pain and stiffness in the outside lateral area of your knee. So again, 3 specific positions we're working on: medial or front, anterior, and lateral. All right, so today I'm going to be demonstrating on my left ankle and foot because I'm assuming that you're dealing with left knee pain. So if you have an issue with your right knee, you're going to take off your right shoe, preferably, and you'd be working on your right ankle. But today I'm going to demonstrate on the left side, so So I just want you to rub this area. You can take your fingers, take your whole hand, and just kind of rub that area so your brain is a little bit more connected with it. And then you're going to grab something that's a little bit comfortable. If you don't have a foam block at home, that's fine. You could use a yoga mat or a pillow. If you have carpet, that'll probably be good enough. But what you're going to do is you're going to stand up nice and tall, and gently you're going to extend the affected leg behind you. And if you notice with my foot is directly behind my leg and knee. Everything is kind of lined up from my hip to my knee down to my ankle. I'm not out in a funky position, right? Everything is kind of lined up. If you see me from this position, from the side, it looks just like this, right? So my toes are curled in behind me, right? So I have this cushion under me to provide a little bit more support so it's not too uncomfortable. But if you focus on where my foot meets my shin, this part here is where we're going to try to stretch and mobilize. So if you're at home, you can use something to hold on to provide you a little bit of stability. That's not a problem. But what you're going to do is really try to focus on pulling the top of your foot forward. So if you look at my ankle, it's a very subtle movement, but as I pull forward, I stretch and open up the joint where my foot meets my shin, and then I release the tension. You pull forward, stretch, and mobilize. You pull back and release. So I want you to practice this movement without moving your whole body, trying to isolate, specifically mobilize that joint. So I want you to try to do that 10 times in this direction for that joint. So for the next exercise, we're going to be working the inside of your ankle. So I want you to take your hands and you're going to rub all over right below your big ankle bone. So you just rub that area, again, so your brain can feel more connected, like, oh, okay, I feel that. So that's where I'm going to have some control over movement. And what you're going to do is, again, you're standing up nice and tall. At home, you can hold on to a chair or something to give you a little bit of stability. Now, instead of going directly back, you're going to kind of flare your foot like this. So if you see me now, my toes aren't directly behind me, but my foot's kind of out to the side. My toes are a little bit behind. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of flaring my hip, my knee follows, and my foot is kind of in alignment with my knee. So now already from this position, yeah, my big toe is a little bit uncomfortable, but that's because I specifically have an injury there. Use a cushion to make sure that it's okay with your toes, but what you should feel is a big stretch, and it may go all the way up here. So focus here. So you're back here, flaring out your leg, flaring out your foot, and then very gently from here, watch the inside of my left ankle. I'm just pulling down and forward, down and forward. Notice my whole body is pretty stable. Nothing is moving except for the inside of my left ankle. And I can feel that all the way up through my left groin. So the reason why we're working the inside of your left ankle is because oftentimes people who have inside knee pain benefit from mobilizing this part of the ankle, because when the ankle and foot are loose, then the knee can move more freely as well, which means less pain. So if you were to see me from maybe the backwards direction, it would look like this. So again, I'm nice and tall, my leg is behind me, I'm flaring my foot, hip is out, my foot is kind of behind where my knee is, and very gently, I'm just kind of pulling forward, opening up the inside of my left ankle. So again, try to really focus on that specific area. Try to do 5 to 10 reps. Okay, so now that we've worked the front or the medial part of your ankle, and we work the inside or anterior portion of your ankle, we're going to work the outside or the lateral side. So again, each specific area of your ankle translates into a specific area where you may have some tension and pain in your knee. So now we're going to be working on the outside area. So as you can imagine, again, I'm standing up nice and tall, holding onto something for stability, not a problem. This time, you're going to place your foot behind you, and then you're going to kind of flare it out to the side like that, right? So I think this is a good angle for you. But as you can see, I take my foot, it goes back kind of in a little bit, and then I kind of flare my hip, and I'm trying to press the outside of my ankle down into the mat. Outside of the ankle down into the mat. And this one, you can kind of feel the best stretch. Maybe it feels the most comfortable because it's a little bit easier on your toes. So if you see me from this direction, I'm back here, standing up nice and tall. Foot goes back, I flare my leg, and I'm trying to reach my left ankle towards the mat. Now, as I do that, it kind of feels like I'm purposely spraining my ankle, which this exercise could actually help avoid ankle sprains in the future because it teaches you to be resilient in that position. So it's not so foreign if that were to happen to you. But what you're trying to do is mobilize the joint between two bones on the outside of your left ankle. So not moving the whole body, I'm just very focused on the outside of that ankle. If you see me from here, looks like this. Left leg back, foot down, flare my hip, rotate my foot away from me, and now pay attention to that left ankle. I'm going down and away, down and away. As I press down, I feel the stretch. As I pull back, a 1/4 of an inch, reduce the stretch. Stretch, release. Stretch, release. Mobilize the outside area of that left ankle. Okay, so after each specific joint mobility exercise, you're going to take a break, you're going to stand up, and you're going to go through the same assessment process that you started with, which was going for a walk, trying your range of motion assessments. Maybe you're moving up and down a flight of stairs. Maybe you're trying a few squats. And what you're looking for is a change in pain and feeling in the knee, right? Do you have less pain? Do you have greater mobility? Do you have less stiffness? Those are the kinds of things that we're looking for and that you're likely to experience as a result of this exercise. So let's recap some of the key points we worked on today. So usually when people have chronic knee pain and stiffness, they focus too much on where they're having their problem. But if you begin to think, okay, what's the big area below where I'm having my problem? So for the knee, obviously it's the foot and ankle. So today we worked on mobilizing 3 specific ankles where the shin bones meet your foot. And by improving the mobility and the range of motion within those joints, it can free up the bones that connect to your knee, leading to less knee pain and stiffness. So again, if you have pain and problems in your knee, by focusing on mobilizing and improving the mobility you have within some of the key joints in your ankle, that can lead to a great reduction in pain and problems in your knee. So the exercise we worked on today is called toe pulls. We worked on 3 specific positions. If you have problems in the front of the knee, we worked on medial toe pull, where your shin connects to your foot. If you have a problem on the inside of your knee, we worked on the anterior portion of your ankle, which connects to the anterior portion of your knee. If you have problems on the outside or the lateral portion of your knee, we worked on the joint on the lateral portion of your ankle. So medial toe pull, anterior toe pull, lateral toe pull. Mobilizing key joints within the ankle to free up the bones that connect to your knee. All right, so that's a wrap for this week's video. Hopefully you benefited from the exercises and can see some of the results. If so, I always appreciate your support. If you could click that like button and subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. And in addition to that, if you've been struggling with chronic knee pain for some time, maybe you've worked with an orthopedist, you've had injections, you've tried physical therapy, but no matter what you've tried, you haven't been able to get to the root of your problem and find lasting relief. If so, I've got a free training that could probably give you a light bulb moment into a solution that you've been looking for. You could find a link to that webinar at the bottom of this video and in my homepage as well. So that's it for this week. I look forward to reading your comments in the comment section. Bye-bye.